Hello, everyone. Welcome to the special edition of CXO Leadership Towards Digital India presented by Google on Moneycontrol. I am Raveesh Dev. I am a digital enthusiast and have been working with brands across verticals and categories to drive success for them and their customers. Before that, I was working extensively in the television and radio industries. Post pandemic, customers have gone online and are buying products from the confines of their homes or offices, be it apparel, food, groceries, or any other thing. They are all buying it online. This has forced the brands, both traditional and new age, to undertake a massive digital transformation at their end. They have created online stores, increased their presence on digital platforms, and tracked the customer journey on the digital medium. Be it a national brand or a regional brand, both have upped their digital game and are now spending more than ever on digital to connect with their prospective audiences. Hence, we are all here today to have a stimulating discussion on unlocking digital for growth, for which we have a very special panel of guests joining us. We look forward to getting their insights on how they digitize their businesses, what has been their digital strategy, and how it has changed the consumer behavior. In short, we bring forth a glimpse of the revolution that digital marketing is bringing to the table and showcase how it is helping accelerate business growth. With that, I will now introduce our esteemed panel for today. Firstly, we have Ms. Vijaya Laksmi, who is the head of marketing for Manipal Media Network Limited. We have Mr. Kumar Behra, who is the CEO of Amar Products. We have with us Mr. Rahul Tamhane, who is the head of marketing for Singhad Tech Educational Society. We also have with us Dr. Ashok Gupta, who is the Chancellor for the IIS University. Also joining us is Ms. Ruchita Aggarwal, who is the head of new business sales for Google India. With that, let's dive straight into our discussion. My first question to all our esteemed panelists would be, how has the pandemic ushered the change in the overall business and consumer behavior? What is the change specifically that you see from the sales and marketing point of view? I would first want to draw in Ms. Vijaya Lakshmi for her point of view.
I come from a background which is a Manipal Media Network, which is a part of a printers and publishers of a newspaper and the magazine, which is called Udevani, and we also have a magazine, Staranga, Rupatara, and Tushara. And basically, print had been one of the topmost media, if you see, in early 18th century, 19th century till the 20th century. And this pandemic has given us a huge hit, which all the industries have got, but print to a great extent. Because print is known for its authenticity of the news and the recall of the advertisement. So currently, due to pandemic, even though the government has told that it comes under the essential category, but still we had a fall, huge fall, where we were at 76% share. We have come down drastically to 50%. So that's when the growth of the digital marketing has played a role. And we also have a group with Udevani.com, which is basically a news portal, which is both in English and Kannada, and which is the #1 news website. So during this pandemic, the digital has helped us a lot to explore new opportunities wherein we can match the multi-channel marketing strategy to our consumers, both in print as well as in digital media. So this is how we balanced it.
Great. Thank you for sharing your point of view, Ms. Lakshmi. With that, I would now request Mr. Rahul Tamhane to share his point of view on my question.
So the pandemic has actually shown lots of problems to each and everyone across the globe. Our sector is into education across the globe. More than 186 countries has seen the problem. More than 1.2 million students were away from the school. Now, as far as the concern of admissions, we have faced through different online services we have offered, as well as the training and development we have given it to the students for getting more acknowledgement, more knowledge about the same different modules we have used. And in education, we all have used many platforms which are available online. And that has actually helped us to turn from traditional way of teaching to the modern way of teaching. So this is how we have actually adjusted and we have delivered it at best. Thank you.
With that, we can safely assume that digital as a medium to engage with our consumers is here to stay. With that, I would then want to move to the next question, which essentially entails that how does our panel see consumers adapting to the digital medium for their activities? Also, do you think it's a long-term shift in behavior? For this question, I would request Mr. Ashok Gupta to give us and share his point of view.
Namaskar. Thank you for organizing such a wonderful discussion. Personally, I am associated with schools and a university, and I believe pandemic has changed everything, right from admission to examination to educational transaction, which we used to have earlier differently. Now we have gone to digital platform. Earlier, we did not allow the students to use mobile phones on the campus, but I think during the pandemic, use of mobile phone or the laptops or other medium to connect with each other became very essential. And even the education, which I say it was not that good, but we had no option to put everything online. Even admission circulars, everything, we had to go for digital marketing. I mean, we took help from digital marketing companies. Examinations were conducted online with the help of some companies. And I believe things have changed a lot. Now people do not want to see a newspaper and read it for any information. They would prefer to go on Facebook page or LinkedIn or other medium where they could get information. Even we would prefer to advertise our products or our admissions and other activities digitally. So there is a lot of change. I think 2 years of pandemic have taught us a lot, and it has changed the whole scenario. I think world over, and but we have to adapt to the current situation, and we are working on it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. With that, I would now want to put the ball in the court of Ruchita. Ruchita, what are your views in the paradigm shift happening on the consumer behavior?
So, Ravish, I would actually echo what some of the panelists were saying. You know, a lot of consumer behavior has moved online and it has moved online permanently. What that really means is that, you know, while initially the consumers would have gone online out of necessity because, you know, they were not able to go out of their houses, they were not able to do things that they were otherwise able to do. But now many of those behaviors have continued to be online because of the convenience that they're getting. In fact, we did a survey and we realized that 65% of the people, you know, we spoke to are purchasing things online, which they previously used to purchase offline. You know, so that is how marked the adoption of online has been. And you know, one of the reasons that, you know, we can obviously assume is because of time and cost saving, but you know, there are many other reasons because of which the consumers have chosen to stay online. You know, one is the variety of options that are available, the variety of delivery options that are available, the variety of payment options that are available. You know, so I think that is what is also keeping the consumers online. I think the other thing is what Rahul and Ashokji alluded to, that you know, because consumers were spending a lot of time online, a lot of businesses have now started to cater to those consumers online. And you know, very marked example of that is, let's say, even if you were to look at the digital marketing spend last year, you know, a lot of the spend which was erstwhile on the print has now moved to digital because businesses and brands have chosen to go and follow where the consumers are. And in fact, the growth that we saw on digital paid media spends last year was 30%. And some of the reports that are quoted are saying that in 2022 digital will perhaps in India for the first time even overshoot the TV spends. So clearly that is the behavior that we are seeing. The other one that we are seeing, and maybe I'll borrow from some of the businesses that are represented here on the panel, right? We saw universities like Geetam, and Ashok ji spoke about how universities had to enable themselves to take tests online. So I remember Geetam taking their admission test online, and this was at the beginning of the COVID, in April and May of 2020. And I remember partnering with them, trying to enable that GAT, as they call it, the Geetam admission test, to be done online. Then we have examples of Sastra, and again, Rahul and Ashok sir will kind of identify with this, right? Sastra was entirely sourcing their admissions as well as doing their branding based on print and out of home, and they were able to pivot all of that to digital, and the results were so phenomenally strong that they've now chosen to completely move to digital, because the reach that they were able to get was many times more than what print was able to give them, and the cost was a fraction of that. And we have many case studies across industries of education, retail, or even jewelry or auto, where actually companies have realized that the online display solution that is available with Google, for example, gives you far stronger results at a much more cost effective cost to deliver the objectives and goals that businesses have for themselves. So there's been a marked change, and the digitization has actually got accelerated in these last 2.5 years.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Ruchita. With that, and thank you for the panelists for their point, it becomes abundantly clear that digital is definitely the way forward. However, if it is the way forward, my next question would be that for our panelists here, if there has been a stumbling block for the adoption of digital marketing in your organizations, have there been any specific challenges that you have faced? On this note, I would want to bring in Mr. Prafull Kumar for his point of view.
Basically, we are into pharmaceutical manufacturing. If you are talking about the digital things, so now it's just time for digital. And we also try so many things on digital. And last pandemic season, we started our selling B2B and B2C also in digitally. But first time when we started in organization, they face some problem. But when they come into practice, now they are all feeling yes, it's a very good thing. We should move towards the digital platform, and everything we should operate by online or digitally. And I think for my organization, it's not very big challenge to handle the situation, and all are doing well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gupta, I will now lean on you to share. We do understand that for your vertical and in your industry, digital is now here to stay. What would be some of the challenges you see that your brand and organization have faced in the adoption of digital?
We have gained many things, we have not lost anything. We have found out a new way of transacting with a speed, like any information that we want to give to our students, to parents, or to other stakeholders. We, within a fraction of minute, we can transmit it to them, and we get the response within no time. Earlier, for holding a national seminar or an international seminar, it was very difficult to call people from outside. But with the advent of Google Meet and other platforms, we can organize things so quickly and so effectively that nobody could have imagined that. So I personally feel COVID has given us something different and something new, something innovative way of interacting with people, with getting response from people, and things which we could not have thought of. So, though pandemic was bad, we lost so many lives, and we had so many difficulties, but I personally feel for our sector, like education sector, it has been a boon, except that we can't have face-to-face classes in an educational institution unless you interact with the students personally. There is no college life, there is no school life, there is no university life. But on the other hand, even the teachers got themselves equipped with the lessons which were transmitted digitally. So the students gained a lot out of this exercise. The parents gained a lot, but as I said, the, there are plus points and minus points both. But I personally feel digitization has made life easier, simpler, and it has given us a new platform to interact, to buy, to sell, to disseminate any information to anybody. Thank you.
Thank you for that detailed note, Mr. Gupta. Definitely, I think digital has been one of the spearheads with which we are increasing the engagement and, as you rightly said, dissemination of information amongst our country. With that, we now come to a very important point that since we do all agree that digital is here to stay, how do we define metrics to qualify for the success of digital? So essentially, what I'm asking is that just like all of you for your organizations have had metrics which qualify for a successful TV campaign, for a successful print media ad, have you defined any success metrics for digital marketing campaigns? And what are your views on the same? For that, I would request Ms. Vijaya Lakshmi and her point of view on this question.
So, what we have done is, depending on the consumer's need, we started building up the multi-channel marketing strategies to our customers. So, wherein they can collaborate both in digital as well as in print, and they can get for the amount or the money which they pay. So, and their statistics can be measured. So, wherein in print you can't measure the statistics, in digital you can. So, I think Ms. Ruchita would she will agree with me, wherein they can provide the statistics whether it is going to be a CPC or CPL or CPA or CPM. So that's when we can show the consumers like the right target audience whom they can reach, and also the SEO and the keywords would help them to reach the target audience.
That's a fantastic point. Thank you for sharing that, Ms. Lakshmi. On the same point, because the one of the goals of today's discussion is to understand how to correctly look at attribution and measurement of digital and learn from all of you. I would also now request Mr. Rahul to share on how their viewpoint has been on setting and understanding metrics to understand successful digital campaigns.
So as a educational institute, we always plan, make an action, and reach and convert and engage the audience. Our audience is always students. So whatever the courses we are running online, as well as we are offering to the students, we always see to it that how we can make it more enthusiastic. The right way the ma'am has pointed it out. We are also using many different Google tools and Google Analytics for getting the student segmentation, how we can reach to them, and how we can actually ask them for the joining the new courses. Now there is lots of scope in the market where online courses are available. With LinkedIn is giving learning courses, then an academy is there, then EDX is also giving. These are the courses are available because of like more penetration is there for these courses, where faculties as well as students can go across the nation and they can get the certificates. So when we are actually trying to reach to the students, we are using multiple channels for making our brand more successful in our target market. So we always prefer to make a plan with the brand. Uh, we always see to it that how we can reach to the audience with a different. There are challenges, yes, we are facing, and we are trying to resolve it because we are having our own marketing campaign team, which always see to it that how we can give it to the best to the reach to the target audience. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I think the loud and clear message is that how digital is actively being looked as a medium to complement also your existing marketing efforts. And that's a great insight. Ruchita, I think we can safely say that Google has the opportunity to work with businesses across sizes and verticals. Could you please share with us some of the interesting business cases where you have seen businesses pivoting online? What were the key challenges they were trying to solve? And then how did digital come to help?
So I'll maybe begin with a media example because Ms. Vijayalakshmi spoke very interestingly about how they pivoted from print to complement it with digital. So I have two case studies of one of Z Digital and the other is MX Takatak. So many of us know that when one of our Chinese media companies in the country kind of went away, MX Takatak decided to come up and be an alternate media destination, and they were targeting the regional consumer in tier 2 and tier 3 part of India, or Bharat, as some of us call it as. And they were very clear that they wanted to reach Bharat. They were very clear they wanted to amplify their vernacular and regional content, and they wanted to take advantage of the gap that had now become available in the market. And we work very closely with them to put up a video first acquisition strategy, which again is very is not the usual traditional way of acquiring, right? Because historically a lot of acquisitions would start off from search, but MX Takatak was very clear that let's start with video because they themselves were marketing a video destination, and the results were very, very strong. That they saw that we actually were able to work with them to deliver more than 50 million plus downloads within the first 4 weeks of launch, and this came from across 2,500 cities in the country. So clearly the reach of digital is now very, very widespread. Earlier, there was an understanding and an impression that perhaps digital is only for the metro mail phenomena, but that's no longer the case actually. So now video and vernacular and voice are the three trends which we kind of see, and we talk very actively to our advertisers and brands that those are the three trends to really connect with your audiences. And I think that case study of MX Takatak is a great example of how they leverage video, how they leverage vernacular content, and they were actually able to reach the breadth of the country. And they also saw, and they were able to do this at a 23% lower cost. Similarly, we have Z Digital as another case study where again they were, Z Digital had content in 8 regional languages. They were not seeing a lot of take up on the regional languages, and they wanted to increase the reach in Indic languages. So we were able to work with them through the display network and a few other solutions that we worked with them. And again, we were able to deliver for them a 23% increase reach, and at a 24% less cost of acquisition. So, those are some examples from there. I already spoke about Geetam and Sastra as examples from the education industry, from, the pharma or the consumer, OTC product. Again, we have examples from Dabur, we have examples from Dettol, we have examples from Bayer, who we're working with right now in terms of, taking the brands, making the consumer aware of new brands that they have options to pick from. One of the interesting trends that we are seeing now is two trends actually. One is that because the options for consumers have become so many, and the availability on digital commerce has become so much, consumers are actually now kind of are spoiled for choice, if I can call it that, right? So they come to YouTube as well as search more often to help them in their consumer journey, to help them make the right decision. The second thing that we're seeing with the consumers is that, earlier the consumer journey in the digital world used to be very linear. But on digital, it's very easy for the consumer to kind of have a non-linear journey. What I mean by that is that, they may start off from a phase of exploration, go into a phase of consideration, but if they can't find one product that they want to go after, they go back into the phase of exploration. And oftentimes when they've gone all the way to the zone of consideration, but they see a review which is not very complimentary, then they go all the way back to exploration, or vice versa. If they see a review which is very positive, they go straight from exploration to purchase. So those are some very interesting journeys that we are solving through for businesses across verticals. Of course, the solution for a vertical in education will vary from pharma and OTC, and will vary for media very differently. But so it's becoming a lot more, the solutioning is becoming a lot more bespoke, and it's becoming customized to where the consumer is, and to marry that with where the business needs to be and wants to be in terms of their objectives.
Great. Thank you so much for that detailed snippet, Ruchita. It definitely helps us widen our horizon as to how digital is being now adopted across both traditional as well as digital first brands in that sense. I know we have moved through multiple questions, and there's one final question which I actually wanted to move across with all our panelists today, which essentially was that while we have spoken as to what's happened till now, it would be fantastic to understand as to if there is one top of mind thing which all of you are planning for your businesses and your organizations in the coming 12 months. What will be that one business goal which you feel that digital can help you address? So for that, I will probably request Mr. Gupta to share his point of view, and then we will move around the table.
See, the basic thing is now we think only of digital media, not of any other, like print media or any other platform through which to reach the masses. We have got paid, digital media platforms. We are negotiating for more, and I think the dividends that we got in the previous years have led us to believe that this is the ultimate which we are going to have in future, because things keep on revolving, evolving, and improving. And I think with the kind of need that we have now, this has become the need of the day, and everything is available through digital media. And even the students and the parents, as I said, uh, they are benefiting a lot. And though they cannot replace the traditional education system, yet I feel that digitization is the need of the hour, like right from banking to shopping to you talk of anything. And I think the kind of ease of doing business that you have got through the digitization, there is no match to it, and it's going to go up, it's not going to come down.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Gupta. I would now request Ms. Lakshmi to share her point of view on this.
The way we see it is like already we are in the move wherein we started uploading our e-papers, that is the digital form of the newspapers, to our consumers, wherein they can download it and read it, or they can read it online. So that is the need of the hour. And also we are targeting few of the clients where we can do some kind of a virtual expos. For the few consumers, like they are interested in doing a virtual expo, which we have already done it for few of our real estate clients as well as our education clients. So gathering the crowd online, and also how we are going to educate our consumers wherein they get the good reach and the ROI, of course. So that's the part, or the way we are looking ahead for the coming years, especially for this year 2022.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Ms. Lakshmi. Mr. Rahul, if I can request you to share your point of view here.
Yeah, actually, the students should get connect and learn and play concept. That is going to help a lot. Nowadays, many of the companies are also playing on that at gamification. So we are looking at for to gamify the things and making students understand and learn. Hope Google is going to help us a lot. Like Google is having lots of programs with the Google educators are there, level one, level two, level three training programs, which is actually helping a lot for the faculties to get understand how this digital medium is there to convert the to deliver the best pedagogy, which is important in today's times. So probably the hybrid situation that where the modern and traditional technology will be helping us more in future too, and it is going to be for a long term shift. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that fantastic insight, Mr. Tamhane. Mr. Praful Kumar, could I request you to please share your views on this question?
If we talk about the smart work and hard work, digital is the uh, type of smart work, and if you're talking about hard work, it's like print media. If you are shifting our business to digital module, and that business will be in automation, then we can improve our productivity, as well as we can also achieve our goal. And only digital media can help us to improve our goals and achieve our goals. That's it.
Great. Thank you for that, Mr. Praful. Uh, with that, I would once again want to reiterate a strong note of thanks for all the panelists. I would also want to reiterate some key points that we all discussed today, starting with the fact that digital is not something which we need to think about. It's something which is already here and would be here for the future. And it is going to be a stepping stone as many of you did share, on which our future success of businesses would be built. Another key point and a phenomenon which has emerged is the fact that digital is not for tier 6, tier 2 metros. From the perspective, there are enough audiences outside India, what we now call as Bharat. Lastly, and most importantly, our customers are always on. With that, we mean that they are looking at moments for us to meaningfully engage them. With that, and last and but not the least, measurement and success metrics, like you shared, become even more important in ensuring that our digital campaigns give us the ROI that we need. And with that, we come to a close today. I would like to thank all our esteemed panelists for sharing their valuable time and also the insights with which they have adopted digital to accelerate their businesses. We hope that all of you are able to take back some concrete action items to help you further succeed with digital. Once again, thank you and have a great day.